welcome to Thursday.
True and Trivial Talk.
True and Trivial Talk. And with Matt and McGinty.
Hello, everyone.
Glad you guys could join us for our third podcast.
Yes.
Look at this. We're still doing it. This is fantastic. Well, we got a great program for you guys today. We are going to be doing a new segment called Babylon Bee or Not to Be. That's right. We're getting Shakespearean today, digging through the fake news so you don't have to. You're welcome. We're also going to be taking a tough questions, good answers segment from one of our Facebook questions. So keep those questions coming. And we will also be doing another new segment called G.O.A.T.
G.O.A.T.s.
Greatest of all
time.
That's right. So we got a couple new segments that we're excited about today, and we're going to have a lot of fun. But first, before we get to all that, Matt, how has your weekend been? Or your week, I should say.
Yeah, well, I hope the weekend's going to be great. But
I know, we're like forecasting a great weekend.
Yeah, the week has been good, and I'm blessed. Man, life's good, and
I feel like that's the most like generic Christian answer you could give right now. Yeah, I'm just blessed. I'm doing good.
Hey, man, you know when you're walking with God, that's how you roll, dude.
That's how the super spiritual. That's how good their lives are.
No, man,
I just gotta make fun of my buddy here.
Yeah, that's right. No, yeah, it's been good. It's been great having our students back and having the church, just being able for us all to be back together. It's been awesome.
It has been cool having our grow groups back in session and trying to figure out the whole hybrid system with Zoom and happening at the same time.
That hasn't always worked out so great. But
it's mostly because of the technology, right? Like this was working on Thursday.
I've been ready, but then we get there on Sunday and things like you said, those little
tech gremlins.
Tech gremlins. Hate them.
Be gone. All right. Avast, ye tech gremlins. Well, we've had a pretty good week so far. I'll tell you what, I don't know about you, but allergies are just slamming my face right now and our whole family. It's just super, super rough. So, which is great about allergies because you wake up in the morning and you have this awesome, like, morning voice where you can all I want to do is sing Mr. Grinch right now. Yeah. Like that's all I want to do.
Like a James
You're
Earl Jones.
A mean one, Mr. Grinch.
James Earl Jones doesn't sing that one.
No, he doesn't.
That's actually Tony the Tiger. Did you know that?
The same guy. I didn't know that. That is breaking news. You're welcome.
Ravenscroft, I think, is his name, and
wow.
You don't know that because he didn't get any credit when they aired the movie.
That's amazing.
Dr. Seuss had to issue an apology later on, a public apology that he was not mentioned. So everyone thought it was Boris Karloff, but
wow,
it wasn't Boris Karloff singing it. It was just Boris Karloff speaking it.
This show is not called True and Trivial Talk for nothing. So there you go.
I probably know way more about that movie than I should. But
and the only voice actor I knew, in fact, I can't even think of his name right now. Actually, is the guy that does Optimus Prime, and I'm totally having a major brain moment for that.
Let's just say it was James Earl Jones.
I'm having a Joe Biden moment here. Sorry. That was not should have gone there. That was mean. All right. Well,
that was him, by the way.
Before we digress on this, let's progress. I will think of it by the end of the podcast, what his name is, or I will Google it in the break for sure. All right. No more chit-chat.
I'm sure people are dying to know.
Oh, they've got to know.
Who voiced Optimus Prime.
Yeah. Oh man, this is killing me. I know this. Anyway, let's go into our first.
He's going to be wrecked the rest of the time because he's trying to think of this. Focus, grasshopper.
Okay. All right, we are going to do our first segment today. We haven't done this one yet. We're going to do a new segment called First World Rants.
First World Rants.
First World Rants. We've got some serious problems in this first world of ours where we are spoiled ridiculously. Yep. And, sometimes we just have to get it off our chest. You know what I'm saying? So, Matt, do you want to go first? You want me to go?
I
feel like you should go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
All right, you got this? Now, you need to be put on your angry eyes, Mr. Potato Head. All right, put on your angry eyes.
So the other morning, I get up and I'm trying to get a dish clean, and you got to wait forever for the hot water to come on, right? So you turn the water on, and you're waiting for 10 minutes for the water to get hot. Maybe it's
must be our neighborhood.
It's 30 seconds or a minute, but it feels like 10 minutes, and then finally you get it hot and it's good, and then you and I don't drink coffee, but I make it for my wife, and then you put the water in the little Keurig again. Very first world in the Keurig, and you got to wait forever for the water to heat up, and then finally you get it, and it's good, ready. And then you make something for breakfast, and then I got sidetracked and then had to come back, and that thing was cold. So this first world rant's all about water, all about having to heat stuff up
Slow
again.
hot water.
And then we've got our internet at the house. We got Zoom calls going. We got TV
Well,
streaming.
this is like everything, Rand.
I know. I'm just gonna bring it
all
out.
the utilities.
And
are
it's
just
like
getting
it's like
slammed.
it's happening all at one time. And it's like, oh, so we got water that won't get hot. We got
internet that won't
food that has to
stream.
be heated up. We got internet that's running slow. And man, you
Gotta
know,
fan you off here, buddy.
no, you stop and you look back and you go, man, was I really getting that upset over it? No, I wasn't upset. It's just
Breaths.
And you know, Daniel, here's the deal.
Woosah.
I have
Woosah.
actually. Are you done? All right. I've actually been to Africa where we've seen people living in huts having to heat water up on the fire. And it's in those moments where I get caught up in my first world where I stop and think, man, I'm an idiot. You know, I'm complaining because it takes 30 seconds for my water to heat up. And
I feel like we got to play our missions card cred here.
yes.
I remember going to the Philippines. You know, I feel like I got to jump on this bandwagon.
Yeah.
Here. When I was a senior in high school, I mean, I grew up in a mission field, but in a very first world mission field. I mean,
Yeah.
Japan they got their stuff together. You know what I'm saying? But in the Philippines, I just remember just the slums were just outrageous.
Yeah.
You know, like you drink water coming out of this place.
Right.
Golly, you know. Anyway, all right. Perspective, right? Now it's my turn. I got to rant about something.
I feel like I need to apologize to God, for
Just
being.
you know, this part of this is like a confession. Like I
Right?
confess my pettiness.
Lord, I am grateful. I'm grateful for clean water. I'm grateful for hot water, cold water, and I'm grateful for internet.
All right.
Go.
Well, my rant, my big issue right now is small things. I can't stand small things. I love, and in particular, my small thing that I'm really, really just I can't even find words. I'm like
Get it
flounder
out.
from
Come
like
on.
Little Mermaid going and then the shark went right. I am just super frustrated with small things, in particular earbuds. Okay, earbuds. I love my wireless earbuds. My wife got them for my birthday, or was it anniversary, and I loved them. They're just fantastic. They were great. But you know what? I lose them all the time, all the time. In fact, we did a bike ride. We went to a park. And I had my earbuds in my ear as we're biking, so that Brooke could call me if she needed to.
Uh-huh.
And we get to the park. I had it in my pocket, and then it was time to leave. I couldn't find that thing anywhere. It was still on. I could still see it connected to my phone. We called it, but of course you can't hear it because it's so little. So we just scoured the park, looking through all the grounds, trying to find this thing. Couldn't find it, and eventually, the pocket in my backpack that I checked at least 3 times, I found it in there after like an hour of looking. I was just so frustrated, and now. You know, I've lost it again. Like, it was in my pocket. I have no idea where it was. I don't know if it's in our playroom or in our house, or if like one of the kids swallowed it and it ended up in a diaper. I don't know. It's so small, it could have just passed right through the digestive tract. It would have no idea. I am just, you know what? And here's my issue. If you're going to make something small and super handy, you should make it to where you can find it. Find it if it gets lost. Like, there's no app that comes with these things where you go, okay, where's my stinking earbud? I lost it again. Like, could it make like a loud beep? Oh, there it is. Like, if it could make a loud beep or something just by turning out, if it's connected, then you could find it again.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well,
now I'm like constrained to using my wired
still
earbuds.
going.
Wires.
Okay.
I mean,
All
wires. I'm still going on this. Wires. I don't like, when you're doing dishes and whatnot, and you're trying to like put the dishes in the dishwasher, and the wire from your headphones keeps getting tangled or ripped out of your ear because your elbow hits it or something and pulls on it. And I lost the little spongy silicone off of one of my earbuds. Again, like my kids like to like peel them off. They think it's hilarious, but it just came off and I couldn't find it, so I couldn't use my wired earbuds. But I did find it this morning. Actually, I found it yesterday morning. You know where it was? It was inside of our Roomba. So talk about first world problems. Like, yeah, my Roomba, my robot that cleans my house. And it was inside my Roomba. And I was like, yes, finally, these are my wired earbuds. But I still have not found my wireless earbud.
Hey, man, the therapist said to talk about it, so just get it out.
Deep breaths.
Are you
Deep.
done?
I'm good. All right.
Okay, well, that's our show.
We're done. Mic drop. No. Well, let's we've been teasing this Babylon Bee or not to be. So let's go do this. Babylon Bee or not to be. The way this works is we're going to give you
are fake news.
Matt, why don't you explain the format, buddy?
Yeah, so if you're familiar with Babylon Bee, it is a satirical website where they
Christian satirical website.
Christian satirical website.
Should we specific on that?
They take the issues of the day and they create headlines and short little stories. Just
Kind of like The Onion, but
Yeah, kind of. But sometimes
But
they
better.
seem so real. I mean, they're funny, but they seem so real
Yeah.
that you're like, is this really like? Did this really happen? Could this really happen?
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're gonna share a headline, but we're also gonna share a real headline
Yep.
and try and stump each other and figure out which one is the Babylon Bee or
You are fake
This
news.
is real.
yeah, the real news.
So fake news versus real news, Babylon be or not to be. All right, Matt.
You go
why don't
first, man.
You want me to go first?
Yeah,
All
you
right,
go
here we
first.
go. First one. All right.
Got
You got to
it.
guess if this is real or not real.
I'm ready.
All right, headline. Academy strips Schindler's List of Best Picture award due to lack of diversity.
Ooh, okay.
It's a lot of white people, a lot of Jews, and the
Surely
Academy
they
is
wouldn't
just
do that.
the Academy's just passed these like rules that you have to have a certain amount of diversity in the production and in the film itself.
Yeah, but
in order
that's
to be
like
considered.
that's from the past. So I would say.
Do you feel like it's grandfathered in?
Nah.
Well, I haven't read the other headline yet, so you don't know if that one's real or not because you got to compare it. So the other headline
Okay.
is this: Oregon police remind residents don't call 911 if you run out of toilet paper.
Oh man.
So which one is the real headline?
I would have to say, surely people aren't calling 911 for lack of toilet paper.
Dude, you're dead wrong, man. That is the real headline.
Really?
Yeah, in Oregon. Let me actually read it to you.
Come on.
The coronavirus has not been kind to the supplies of toilet paper. This is the real news article. Along with the obvious items such as hand sanitizer and other disinfectants, the rolls of tissue have been increasingly hard to find at local markets as people stock up and hunker down during the global pandemic. But please, for goodness sake, don't panic if you run out. At the least, is the earnest request of the police department in Newport, Oregon. And this is a quote from the police department. It's hard to believe that we even have to post this.
I know. Man.
Do not call 911 just because you ran out of toilet paper. The department told residents in a reminder posted to Facebook last weekend, you will survive without our assistance. All right, this is what I think is funny. Store shelves may not be flush with two-ply right now, exactly. The police warn that whatever folks, this is funny, their suggestions, folks may think they can assist in this particular need. Instead, they helpfully offered some alternatives gleaned from the annals of human history,
Oh, no.
improved instruments
I think it's
dried
annals.
corn, annals of history.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mispronounced that wrong.
Yeah, and it's not really.
Their
good article
suggestions
to
are
go wrong with that,
improvised instruments such as dried corn cobs and pages torn from old magazines as substitutes.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
What you got, dude?
So I was wrong. All right.
Yeah.
I guessed the wrong one. Okay. All right. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to give you two. Let's
I'm
make
laughing
sure
so
these
hard
are
my
good ones.
face is like turning red. All right. What
All
you got,
right.
dude?
CNN criticizes Israel and Arab leaders in case there was a historic peace treaty signed this week.
Oh, yeah. Big deal.
So, yeah, the headline is CNN criticizes Israel and Arab leaders for shaking hands in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh.
Okay.
Hey.
So there's one. Now
Okay.
here's the other.
Okay.
Transparent public toilets unveiled in Tokyo parks, but they also offer privacy.
Also offer privacy, but they're transparent.
Yes.
Do they have that like that button where you press where it like goes opaque, like the glass or something? Maybe
I'm not telling you anything.
You don't know.
No, you
what
got to
details.
guess.
See,
I'll give you details when you guess.
I feel like it's sort of this is up my alley. Having grown up in Tokyo, a lot of weird things come out of Tokyo. So if like you hear about something weird in Tokyo, more often it is true. Like it is just true. So I'm gonna go. I think the Tokyo like transparent toilet thing is true.
Yeah, that's the right one.
Yes.
So listen to this. All right. The idea of using a public bathroom, this is the article. The idea of using a public bathroom with see-through walls may sound like the stuff of nightmares, but a famous Japanese architect is hoping to change that view using vibrant colors and new technology to make restrooms in Tokyo parks
Oh my
more
gosh.
inviting. There are two things that we worry about when entering a public restroom, especially those located at a park. The first is cleanliness, and the second is whether anyone is inside. But transparent walls can address both of those worries by showing people what awaits them inside. Almost done. After users enter the restroom and lock the door, the powder room's walls turn into a powdery pastel shade and are no longer see-through.
Oh,
Now look, okay. How long did you live in Tokyo?
like I lived there for actually 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Like what age?
From middle school through high school.
Middle school through. Okay.
Yeah.
So does this surprise you?
Not at all. I mean, I don't.
Okay.
I've never witnessed this before, but there's all kinds of strange things in Tokyo. Seriously,
That is crazy. Like a see-through, like
which seems
a see-through
weird in
honey
Japan
bucket.
because they're super. There's a see-through honey
That's
bucket.
just no. That is
Okay,
not
I feel
right.
like you're a youth pastor. I'm a former youth pastor. Like our podcasts are digressing to potty talk like every time. We got to find a way to podcast up any potty talk.
This is, but it's
Toilet paper.
something that
It's
something
funny,
that
though.
everyone, everyone can relate to.
All right, I'm gonna give you my news articles. Here's my
Okay,
last two. You
all
ready?
right.
Okay. So Babylon Bee or not to be. First headline. Disney editing blunder. So this is something that someone caught in a Disney film.
Got it.
This Uyghur concentration camp can be clearly seen in the background of Mulan, the new movie. For those of you who don't know, Mulan was filmed in an area in the same province where they have the Uyghur concentration camp. So somebody saw.
Let me guess.
In
You
the background.
live there.
Dude, it's China.
Oh, okay.
Come on,
Sorry.
man.
Sorry.
Seriously. All right. All right, and then the other headline is this: Aquarium is washing old wishes to pay bills during pandemic, like coins from a wishing well. So an aquarium is washing old wishes coins to pay bills during the pandemic.
Oh, I would say the second one. I know
Why
we're
is
kind
that?
of. I mean, I know we're kind of in a coin shortage right now, and
Okay,
maybe
so-
they were.
Feels legit.
Yeah, maybe those pennies probably just sit there, and they thought, let's put these to good use.
Well, you are correct, my friend.
Oh, I got one right.
Yeah,
That's
that's
good.
right. So no Uyghur concentration camp in the movie Mulan. If you go looking for it and drop that $30 from Disney Plus, sorry, don't bother. But yeah, this aquarium for many businesses, the corona pandemic has created a coin shortage. Like they actually don't have enough coins. Like go see these signs, like,
Yeah.
hey, we have no pennies to use.
Which is crazy, right?
I know. All
That's
the
just-
sheltering at home puts a crimp in the normal circulation of pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters, and now some retailers are asking customers to pay with exact change. I always thought it'd be funny to have a shirt with a penny on it and him just sort of sadly saying, hey, I'm money too. You know, like, we don't look at, because of just inflation stuff, pennies don't seem like money. The lack of coins is no problem in North Carolina Aquarium at the Pine Knoll Shores. The aquarium, which is soon to enter its 6th month of mandated closure because the coronavirus has come up with a pandemic project that can pass the time and help pay the bills. They've drained a large waterfall at the facility and dredged up all the coins thrown by wishful visitors. That is creative.
That is creative. Yeah.
Gotta hand it to him for that.
Yeah, that's frugal or thrift. What?
Thrifty,
I don't know. Yeah.
resourceful.
Resourceful.
Let's go with resourceful.
Yes.
So-
Okay. All right. Here are mine.
All right. let's hear it.
I got two for you. Here we go. Portland overtakes Moss Isley as the most wretched hive of scum and villainy. That's the first headline.
Moss Isley. Where's Moss Isley?
Daniel, just let me get through my headlines.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
just-
The second
do
one
your
is
thing.
this. You ready?
All right, I'm listening.
Oregon man called police about a burglar. Armed officers found a rogue Roomba.
Armed officers found a rogue Roomba.
Mhm.
I have a Roomba, and that thing gets squirrely. It gets kind of squirrely. Like if you put a knife on that thing, I feel like it could go rogue, and the whole robots will rise up. I don't know. And I wish I could get some audience help here. Get a phone call.
No.
What was the first one again?
Portland overtakes Moss Isley as the most wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Man, I'm gonna go. Man, I've got a Roomba that I don't trust him. I'm gonna go Roomba. The Roomba article on that one.
You're right.
No,
That's a true one.
all right.
Now, first of all, you asked where's Moss Isley.
Where's Moss Isley?
You know where Moss Isley is.
No, I don't. I have no idea.
That's a Star Wars
I'm pretty-
reference for you guys out there.
Oh,
Moss Isley Spaceport.
See, I was thinking of a real place. That's my problem.
No.
See, I was
no.
thinking like, is this in Africa or Europe or is this like?
Obi-Wan Kenobi tells Luke that Moss Isley is the most wretched hive of scum and villainy.
See, here's the thing: is Matt's a Star Wars nerd. In case you didn't know,
Hey,
I'm like
he
a
is too.
I'm like a quasi Star Wars nerd. Like I'm not a true believer. I'll actually watch The Last Jedi and find things that I appreciate about it.
I can't.
Whereas, like, no, you throw tomatoes at the screen.
No, I don't. All right, hey, let me share this with you. All right. This Oregon man called police about a burglar, and it's a Roomba. Here it is. The frantic call came from a house
Oh my
guest
gosh.
in Oregon about a burglar making a loud rustling noise inside the house, specifically from within the locked bathroom. Okay, kind of skipping over a little bit. Police come. Police surround the Cedar Hills house. They then made their way inside, guns unholstered, and the whole time they're yelling, "Sheriff and police, sheriff and police." But the burglar would not come out. He wouldn't say anything. Instead, the banging got louder, like a loud thud, 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 thud on the glass. Officers assumed the burglar was trying to escape. That he was trying to open a window and jump out and run away. Hearts pounding, guns like this is dramatic here. Hearts pounding, guns ready to fire. They counted down and entered the bathroom. But instead of confronting the suspect, they found a rogue Roomba robot vacuum that was apparently doing a very thorough job.
Very thorough.
It was just this little round machine slamming against the
Don't
glass.
mind me. I'm
the
just cleaning.
A rogue Roomba. So.
You gotta watch out for those rogue Roombas, man.
Hey, I mean, I guess he did the right thing in calling the police. It could have been someone, but
you never know these days.
That'd be pretty embarrassing.
I feel like that Roomba. I'm convinced that Roomba was up to no good. When they opened that door, he was like, "Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. I'm
nothing
good.
to see here. No, just
rogue
a rogue
Roombas.
Roomba."
I'm gonna be saying that throughout the week. Hashtag rogue Roomba.
Rogue Roomba.
All right, allergy voice. Well, we're going to take a quick break right now. We're going to come back in 5 seconds. It's up to you what you will do in that 5 seconds.
No, wait a second. I'm confused. What's the whole 5 second thing about?
5 seconds. Our video camera can only record 25 minutes at a time.
Okay, in case people are out there wondering, like, what is the purpose
we gotta
of this?
Take a break.
Like, it's not even enough time to do anything.
I know. We need a breather. I need to drink some water or something.
Oh, okay.
We're going to break for just 5 seconds, maybe 6 seconds, but you choose what you do with that. Don't anybody go nowhere.
I don't think you can do anything with it, but hey, enjoy it.
All right, we are back. I don't know what you did on your 5 second break.
That was short.
It was short. It feels like just boom. But you don't have to tell us what you did. It's okay. If you danced in your car or got a quick snack in 5 seconds, it's impressive, by the way. Or you just put us on pause. You know what? We won't judge.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, we can do that. Well, we're going to transition to our other segment, and this is more of a serious segment where we take some questions from our Facebook crowd out there, and we take them and try to bring some good input on them. So the question that we got from online was this, and this is our Tough Questions, Good Answers segment. And the question is this: what are some social media best practices in responding to people who attack us and call us racist? And by us, I guess she's referring to Christians, Christ followers. They call us racist, uneducated. And this goes on for simply supporting a particular candidate or expressing our conservative views. And there's a second part to the question here, which we'll do sort of follow up on. How do we have discussions with those who also claim to be Christian? Actually, let's tackle the first part first. Mm-hmm. Now, Matt, you kind of go through a lot of this with your youth, actually, because they're kind of knee-deep in social media.
Right.
Not like 30-something's Facebook at all, but so you got some input on this, man. What do you got to say?
Yeah, so I mean, this is hard because this is so out there. Like, this is constant, and if you're on social media, you see this constantly. There is just so much negativity out there, and
there's negativity on social media.
Yeah, right.
What?
And by simply just expressing your views, you be prepared. Like, be prepared, because you're going to get all kinds of people commenting, and it is really hard. It's hard because all you're doing is just sharing something. You're not criticizing other people, but we are in a divisive time. Our nation is just raging, and it seems like every day there's like a new wave of outrage to get caught up in, and
must be angry about all the things all the time.
Yeah,
right?
And so anytime someone disagrees with you, they're going to let you know, and they're going to they're going to resort to calling you names, very just mean stuff.
Be prepared.
And, yeah. So I would say that first of all, expect that. Remember that when you're on social media, you've got all kinds. The world is on there, and the
universe,
the world is seeing, and so they're seeing what you're posting, they're seeing what you're saying, and it could just be a meme or a picture. It could just be a comment, and someone's always got to have something to say about it. And so I would say, in responding to that, you could get very, very tempted to respond in the same kind of way. And we've got to remember, as Christ followers, that we're called to be different. We're called to live differently. And what I wish that if people had a problem, there's this thing that Facebook has where you can like message the person directly.
Directly, right?
Yeah.
Like, but no, I want the whole world to see
Yeah,
how
right.
like frustrated and angry I am with you,
And you can
and how witty I am while doing it.
Right. You can be very tempted to respond in the same kind of way for everyone to see, because you feel like, hey, they've criticized me and demeaned me in front of everyone. I'm gonna respond to that. When you just, why can't they just tell you directly that they disagree with you? Well,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, you've dealt with some of this.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I remember a couple months ago, I posted something. I was concerned that a lot of the BLM stuff that was going on was actually going to create more racism. Like it was actually going to like feed into that. And nobody was talking about this. And now everyone's talking about this and a lot of conservative talk stuff. I don't know if they've read my Facebook post or something. But a lot of people were really, really angry with what I posted. And I said, my intentions are good. I'm saying, listen,
people are your friends.
I know. People I went to college with at a conservative Bible college.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, man, what happened to you, dude?
Right.
You know? And my concern is, listen, let's listen to each other, but at the same time, this isn't helping the situation.
Yeah.
A lot of the like black communities come out and saying a lot of the same things now too, which is I'm glad to hear that. But we want racism to go away. We don't want to bring it back.
Right.
You know, we don't want to like give any reason for this kind of stuff. And so my heart was there. My intentions were good. I was really careful. I even wore the kid gloves as I wrote it and everything. But still, it still generated a lot of issues.
It went on for several days.
Oh, it went on forever, man.
Yeah.
And I just had to basically say, thank you for your opinion.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. And good point. I don't know if I agree, but good point. You know, but it's just...
Well, I think what we have to do in that is we have to be careful not to respond the way that they're responding, because Christ has called us to a higher standard. In fact,
turn the other cheek, right?
Yeah. Colossians 4, I love this. Paul shares this. He says, walk in wisdom and toward outsiders, and make the most of every opportunity.
And tweet with discernment.
Yeah. And he says, be sure your speech is seasoned with salt, and that as you're talking to people, that you're engaging them and approaching them in a way that is civil and kind. And I remember reading those comments, and you did good at kind of trying
to keep the temperature down.
Yeah.
You know, diffuse people.
Right.
You know, and just sort of listen, I know you're at this sort of temperature, but let's just bring it down a notch. I also feel like sometimes we have really good intentions and we post really good things, but sometimes we post really, really not so smart things.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like that rule should apply to like what my friends had to do to me. My accountability partners in high school, they gave me what was called the 5 STR rule, the 5-second think rule. Because I was notorious for doing things that were just like, dude, what? Did you not think before saying that? Or did you not
really?
all the time? Yeah. Impulsivity, much, right? And so they would have this, like, if I said something really, really out there, they just kind of hold up their hand and go, just sort of give me a look like, you didn't think 5 seconds on that one, did you? Right? I think sometimes we just need to, like, before I post, just think for 5 seconds, how will this be received?
Right.
You know?
Because when you respond the way that they responded, I mean, you're just getting into an argument and
pouring gasoline on it.
Right. And how Proverbs tells us that a gentle answer turns away wrath.
That is a great proverb for this.
If we will just respond and not go where they're going, because we think about it, social media. There is not a great way to have an argument on that, and you're not going to change people's minds, and they're not.
There's a wall there.
Yeah, and it's like people feel like they've got to say everything they want to say in an effort to change your mind, and
no one is changing.
Right, you're sticking to what you believe. They're sticking to what they believe, and acknowledging them as a person. Don't attack them as a person. Just say, I disagree with that, and if you want to talk more about this, we can message me. Let's talk where the whole world is not seeing you go on a rant and me, be tempted to be pulled into that rant with you.
So let me ask you a question, Matt. If someone called you a racist on social media, how do you respond? Do you defend yourself, or do you just say
no? I would defend myself. Like I would definitely share the reasons why I'm not, share my view of all people, and just
share your heart, right?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with in my youth group. It was very diverse. I mean, we had all kinds of nationalities, and these guys were my best friends. And so, in our student ministry, we've got students of different ethnicities, and it's awesome.
Pflugerville is actually a really cool sort of melting pot. Like
Yeah.
it's not like super white or super black or super Hispanic or super Asian or super anything. It's like this really kind of cool mix of a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds.
Right.
We have a lot of people that actually who like immigrated here from Africa. And it's really kind of cool to see that. Other parts in the suburbs and whatnot, you don't see that as much.
Right.
But Pflugerville is really kind of unique and cool in that way. But yeah, it's
cool.
tough you want to defend yourself, but at the same time, if you go too heavy on that, it's like you're trying too hard.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, I think you need to address it. And then, if it just continues where, people.
It's got to end with, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
And
You just say we can
done.
agree to disagree, and thank those who responded civilly. Is that the right word?
Civility?
Civility. In a civil way to your response. And, you may just have to let it go and be done at that point.
The second part to this question, this person asked, how do we have discussions with those who also claim to be Christian but support candidates or views that are morally the exact opposite of what the Bible teaches us? Like, how do we have discussions with people? And this, I mean, I'm going to assume these discussions are like, let's just assume they're in person. Like it's person to person, either through messaging or talking to the person or Zooming with that person.
Because that really is the best way.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, that's Scripture tells us to go to that person first.
Yeah,
and
it didn't say like tweet them first or direct message them first. So,
but having that conversation where it's you and them first, if they post something that's like outrageous and crazy, I mean, I would start with going to them first
and call them like, dude, hey,
yeah,
what were you thinking on this, man?
Yeah, like the 5 second
rule. Did you think before posting that, or is this really where you stand on stuff?
Yeah. Because if you engage on social media, you run the risk of shaming them, and
they will double down on that view too, which doesn't help.
Right.
But I would say if you're having once you're in that conversation with somebody, ask people questions. Don't try to give them what they should think. Ask them, why do you think this way? And then when they defend their position, then you use their defense to essentially break down their arguments.
Yeah. Make sure they're heard. Like hear them. And
I'm thinking in terms of like, let's break this down logically. And you're thinking coming from a personal background, which is too like, hey, let's make this a personal conversation, not like a debate, obviously. Yeah. But as you're having this conversation, use the way they define their terms to make your arguments.
Yeah.
Because if you ask them first, like, how do you define this? How do you...
Because you're showing them that you're actually hearing them and taking them seriously. Yeah.
Well, if this is what you believe and this is a reason why, well, let's look at those reasons.
Yeah.
And then you can start to deconstruct those reasons that they give for they believe with truth from Scripture or from actual data, A lot of people just, they grew up hearing something, and when you look at the actual data, go, wow, that doesn't add up at all.
Yeah.
Or you look at Scripture and go, well, how would you interpret this passage and why?
Right.
And then you can start to address their reasoning for why they're interpreting a passage a particular way.
Yeah, that's good.
So get some good hermeneutics.
I want to, let me share something if I could with that I've shared with our students as we're doing social media. There's 5 things that are practicalities for posting to social media, and 5 questions that you can ask yourself. I'll give these real quick. But first of all, when you post something, are you seeking approval? Like, are you doing that because you want everyone to...
What's your motive?
You want people to approve of you. You want validation through other people. And if that's the case, then maybe you should think twice before posting it. Secondly, am I boasting? Is this something where I'm bragging? And I think
Braggsville.
I think... most of what's put out there on social media, it's people saying, "Hey, look at this," or "I got this," or "I'm this," and
you're marketing yourself. Like, this is my life. It's awesome.
Yeah, and you can call out things like, "I got this happened today," and you can be excited about that. But if it's to the point where you're boasting or even humble brags, man, I hate humble brags.
I totally read my Bible for an hour this morning. Here's all the amazing things I learned in Scripture, my devotion.
My
so deep.
My 2-hour workout this morning was so hard. I'm in such bad shape,
Look at my 6-pack. Isn't it awful?
So careful not to boast. But also, am I discontent? Like, as you're posting, does it give off the message that you're not content with life? And there's some things that it's okay to share and just say, I wish this was different, or I don't like this. But if that's constant, like if
Be
it's-
constructive.
yeah, if it's constantly negative, then you got to consider that. And last two, is this a moment to protect? So like, do we have to post every picture of us with our kids?
Yeah.
Do our kids really want to have
Their whole life chronicled before
for
them forever.
everyone to see, or even just a private conversation you have, and you're like, oh, that's such a good quote. Can I share that? Like maybe
5-second rule.
Yeah, right. And then lastly, is it kind? And that's what we just talked about. Is this really a kind thing to share? Is this really being positive? And as Christians, that's what we're supposed to be. And Paul tells us in Philippians 4 that think on the things that are lovely, true, right, admirable, praiseworthy. Think on these things and to be positive. So.
You don't have to be positive all the time, but the point
Right.
if you're going to dwell on something that's constructive and it's going to draw you closer to God.
Well, as Christians, we have hope. Like we want people to see that we have hope. And yes, the world is a mess right now, but we can have hope in that.
And hope doesn't mean you ignore the issues in there. It means you are there to be a solution.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's some really good advice, and I want to encourage y'all to just put that into practice as you post things, and always be careful what you post in terms of just
5 seconds.
5 seconds. That's
think
right.
5
At least
seconds.
5 seconds, in the very least. All right. Well, thank you again for those Facebook questions. Keep them coming. We'll post something here soon where
Some of these questions we've gotten are hard.
are really good. Yeah.
Well, and good, but they're like
Hard and good. But thanks again. Keep them coming. Of course, you can email us, and we'll say at the end of this at the podcast how you can get in contact with us. All right, we're going to move to a new segment here that actually Matt came up with this, which I love, and it is called Goat.
Goats.
That's right, greatest.
I couldn't find my goat
all
shirt. I
time.
don't have a goat
So you
shirt.
settled for a llama and
the party llama.
the party llama. I want to hang out with that guy.
Or it
that
could
would
be
be
an
awesome.
alpaca, but
Alpaca?
Alpaca?
Is there a difference between an alpaca and a llama?
It's a llama.
I feel like they're the same thing.
Yeah.
Google it. I don't know. All right. So, GOAT, greatest of all time. We're going to list different categories, and we have to give our opinion of what we think is the greatest in that category. You be thinking what you think is the greatest in that category.
Yes.
So, here we go. First one, greatest of all time, chicken sandwich.
Oh.
Dude, come on.
Chicken sandwich. Okay. I mean, and a lot of restaurants
Just
do
say
it well. They okay. If I'm going to say right now, I would say Popeyes has the greatest sandwich.
Dude.
And I know you Chick-fil-A lovers, you'll disagree, but I would say Popeyes.
Popeyes has got a mean chicken sandwich.
It's
I mean,
like-
it's super crispy.
Just a big piece of chicken and just the sauces and the bun toasted. It's so good.
It is pretty rad. It's I thought about this really hard. This is a really deep question. I'm gonna have to say right now, I'm gonna say Zaxby's. Zaxby's. I love Zaxby's. They have this Zensation
That's
sandwich.
pretty
It's
good.
really good. It's like this awesome Chick-fil-A type sandwich, but not Chick-fil-A, and it has this like coleslaw in there, but it has like Asian seasonings in it. It's super fresh, super delicious. It's really good. Now, it's
Here's
called
the
the greatest
deal.
of all time. I think. I don't know.
If you had the Popeye sandwich, in my opinion, Popeye sandwich, Chick-fil-A sauce, and Zax sauce that you could dip in both.
I feel like we should make
the
like this
best of all
zombie or no,
worlds.
like this like what do you call that guy? Frankenstein chicken sandwich. Like I want almost like the chicken from the Popeyes and like the toast from like Zaxby's and like the Chick-fil-A sauce from Chick-fil-A all put together, and I think that'd be the perfect greatest of all time chicken sandwich.
Hey, let's
All
do
right,
it.
next category, greatest movie line of all time.
Oh, greatest movie line of all time.
Greatest movie line of all.
I would
time.
probably have a bad feeling about this.
You couldn't be a Star Wars nerd without saying it, right?
Yeah, it's like in every movie.
Greatest
Every Star
line
Wars
of all
movie.
time. Man, you know what? I'm trying to think. I had two I was thinking between the greatest line of all time. I'm trying to think of which one I use the most. Probably the one I use the most in my house is this. I am your father.
Oh, that
So
is
I'm
a
going
good
Star
one.
Wars
Good Star
too
Wars
on this.
reference.
Luke,
Yes.
I am your father.
That is a good one.
Come on, son. You must do what I say. I am your father. Yeah.
That's James Earl Jones right
Yes.
there.
Oh, yeah. What's funny is like, Star Wars trivia, the guy playing Darth Vader is not James Earl Jones.
No, it's
they
not.
actually swapped out their voices, right?
And he wasn't happy about it.
Oh no. I think he rose a stink about it. All right,
but he kept doing it. Like the money was good.
I'll take the paycheck.
I'll do the sequel. Okay, I'll do another sequel.
All right, greatest of all time, Chip.
Oh yeah. So
now we're doing this because go ahead.
If you missed the sermon last week, it was about Cheetos.
It was about Cheetos
and
Cheetos was about original sin.
Cheetos and the gospel
and the gospel, the good news, right?
That may be all you remember from it, but no,
We've all
it was
eaten the Cheetos.
You did a great job.
I appreciate it.
Yes, we've all eaten
$5
Cheetos
later.
So, I love Cheetos. I love anything with toes on the end, Fritos, Doritos. But if I have to choose a greatest, I'm gonna do a cheat here, and I'm gonna have to say Munchies. Munchies, because Munchies have all of them in it.
Oh, it's one of those mixes.
It's got the pretzels. It's got the sun chips. It's got the Cheetos. It's got the Doritos. It doesn't have the Fritos. But hey, Munchies is my go-to. Like when I'm stopping to get chips somewhere, that's what I ask for.
I gotta say Cheetos. I could eat me a bag of Cheetos just sitting down, and that'd be my meal.
Cheetos are good.
But I will say there was a chip that Frito-Lay's came out with in 2001, summer of 2001. And I remember this because I ate an entire family-sized bag in one sitting, I think with a pile of donuts too. So that was my dinner. Things you do when you're like 19. But it was a one-time only limited edition. It was called Santa Fe Ranch. Huh. And it was so flipping good.
I think I remember that.
It was so good. It was just like I can't stop eating. No, they were like Frito-Lay chips.
Okay.
Like regular Frito-Lay chips, and it was seasoned called Santa Fe Ranch, and it was unbelievably good. So Frito-Lay, if you're listening to this right now, bring them back. Those were amazing. Okay, like better than Cheetos amazing.
If they were so amazing, then like everyone would have bought them.
I don't know.
Fritos would have said, "Let's keep doing this."
I think this is the greatest of all time.
Okay, what's your opinion?
Greatest of all time, boy band.
Yeah, so I thought
you answered too quickly on this. Like it's like incriminating.
There's some great ones out there. The first one I was going to say New Kids on the Block, back from the 80s, but and 90s. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought the Jackson 5.
Oh, I guess you could technically call it a boy band.
Jackson. Well, yeah. And you have to think too, like what's the criteria here? Like, because they need to be like
the answer is easy as ABC.
Right. Like boys-ish, like not men, and like are they playing guitar? Like so the Beatles don't really count as a boy band.
They're a band and they're full of boys,
but they're playing instruments
like rock.
And they're not dancing.
I guess we think more in terms of pop songs.
Yeah. So I would have to say the Jackson 5 because
cheat answer.
What's that cheap answer?
Not cheat answer.
No, it's not a cheat answer. They're a boy band. They dance.
I feel like they're better than a boy band.
They dance. They can play instruments.
Like, here's a boy band and here's Jackson 5.
Yeah, and let's. What made that band great? Who made that band great?
Michael Jackson.
No, Tito, man. Come on, Tito. No, it was Michael Jackson,
right? All right, my I think the greatest boy band of all time is, get ready for this, Plus One.
Plus One.
I'm totally kidding. It's not Plus One. That was like the Christian knockoff version of NSYNC. Of course, the greatest boy band of all time is NSYNC. Come on. It has a guy in there on their team with initials JC. So Jesus Christ, JC. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow.
You know what? Justin Timberlake, he's just, he was just great in Trolls. He's great. Really good in Trolls. Really
so because
good.
He was great in Trolls, they're the greatest.
I got this feeling. It's coming up through my toes.
Okay, all right.
And my kids like to jam out to that, and it's a fun movie. So I got to go NSYNC.
I'm just going to say, Jackson
Plus, they
5,
had some serious moves, man.
But they wouldn't be anything without Jackson 5. They were the pioneers.
Oh, yeah. I agree with this. I had a friend, and this was a dude, like this guy, and he was like a manly man kind of guy, too, which is so funny, in college. And his favorite band was NSYNC. Unabashedly, his favorite band was NSYNC. He had posters on his wall in his dorm college of NSYNC.
Man.
And he was unapologetic about it. It's like, I don't care what you think. They're amazing. And he had the biggest crush on Justin Timberlake. He's like, this guy is awesome. He's so amazing. Dude, we might think their music is cool too, but we ain't saying it. You know? More power to you, man.
Put on a shirt that says "Make fun of me, please."
Yeah. All right. Last one. Greatest of all time. Greatest sport.
Greatest sport. Does Topgolf count?
Topgolf. I feel like that's a derivative of a great sport, golf.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like
Everyone's great at Top Golf. At golf.
I love Top Golf. I love putt putt golf. But I probably have to say the one I enjoy the most would probably be, right now would be basketball. Just my boys are huge into it, and just in that been watching all the talent that comes with playing basketball and slam dunk competitions, and
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
My
so-
2-year-old's really into basketball. Like that's
Yeah?
all he wants to do is throw the basketball in the hoop at the pool, and he's pretty good at it. He gets some swishes. I'm like, dude, well done, man. I hate to break it to you, but you're gonna be short. You come from short people. This basketball thing ain't gonna be your jam.
Yeah.
We'll see how long it rides. So, I mean, when your dad, me, was on the BB team in 8th grade, you know, maybe you'll surpass.
Was that in
my
Tokyo?
That was in Tokyo. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
When you're still on the BB team at a small Christian school, you know you're awesome. Anyway,
I would love to see a picture of you and that basketball team
I had
in
some
Tokyo.
short shorts, man, and this was not when short shorts were cool. It's just that was what was left over. Like the BB team got the leftover basketball shorts.
Nice.
So anyway, all right, I would have to say greatest sport of all time, disc golf.
Oh yeah, disc golf,
Dude. I love
that's
disc
fun.
golf, and here our arguments aren't that disc golf is the greatest sport of all time. It's just this is what I like doing, and so it's great for me.
Yeah,
Plus, it's something that Brooke and I can actually do together and very competitively.
yeah.
And she's very competitive, so it's pretty sweet.
Who usually wins?
I usually win, but not by too much. You know, usually I do long bombs. She's more direct. But all right, well, we're gonna take a quick break here in just
We're
a
gonna do
second.
another one of those.
You know what? I'm looking at their countdown clock. It looks like we're gonna be okay. Doesn't look like the camera's gonna time out,
All
so
right.
we'll be good.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna do last thing, and this shouldn't take too long. We're gonna do a
You're welcome
surprise
out there, by
question.
the way. I
Yeah.
spared you the.
You spared the second
Another
dance
break?
I know. All right, we're gonna make this quick. We got to wrap this up soon. Surprise question.
Surprise question. Okay, well, since we've been talking about your time in Japan and kind of your youth,
Okay.
what has been your favorite job
Oh man.
that you've aside from this one, right? Your favorite job and your least favorite job.
All right, favorite job and least favorite job. These are all like when I was in 7th grade. I had my job after school was to vacuum carpets. Did not like that job.
No, I
No,
would.
it was pretty lame. All my friends we got playing doing stuff was like I'm just vacuuming carpets. And I would also say cleaning the locker rooms when I was a sophomore in high school was awful.
Yeah.
I'd get up super early in the morning, and the girls' locker room was always the worst. Always the nastiest.
Now, why'd you have that job? Like, what was
I
that?
needed money. And
I mean,
that-
what was like your title? Your
janitorial stuff.
okay.
They would hire high school students to do cleaning and different stuff
I
around
got
school.
you. I got you.
And so, but my favorite job in high school, this is going to explain a lot of things here in a second. My favorite job was a senior in high school. I was a hair model.
Right.
Seriously, like there was a barber who was training other barbers for a world's best barber competition, and he needed guinea pigs, and they called us models, which were anything but. And so I'd show up, I'd get a back massage, sit in a chair, and they'd do these crazy hairstyles. I mean, all kinds of crazy dyes, and I get paid like $10 an hour. Like under the table virtually. Like I just come in, they just pull cash out of the cash register and just give it to me. Like it was so shady.
Hair model, you really?
I know,
Okay.
which is why I
All
have no hair today, because they put all kinds of crazy chemicals plus bad genes. So, but yeah, I would come home with like some wacky hairdos, man.
That's
So-
funny, man. Okay.
All right, so surprise question for you.
All right.
What was your first date like with Melody?
My first date with Melody.
Melody's his wife, by the way.
Yeah,
in case
Melody.
you're wondering.
Yes. My first date with Melody. We got together. We kind of started with a like an interview where we got together.
You
Starbucks.
interviewed her?
No, she interviewed me.
Oh, I was like-
I already knew. Like,
What are your
I
qualifications for being my boyfriend?
I knew based on what I knew about her that yeah, she was someone I definitely wanted to get to know better, and we hung out at Starbucks, and then had a great first just low key date, but we walked away knowing that we want to do this again, and so
I want to have another interview.
yeah, another interview, and so
Yeah, my first date with Brooke was actually at Starbucks too. So
Oh.
thank you, Starbucks, for that. Appreciate it.
yes, and you're
No, we did not drink pumpkin spice lattes.
I don't think I even drank coffee because I don't drink coffee, but she did. And
I'll have a water, please.
yeah, I'm sure she was like, "Why are we at Starbucks again
Yeah.
if you don't drink coffee?" But it was just chill environment, and it was great.
But when you asked Melody out, and did she say yes, or say, "Let me think about it"?
She said yes.
With provisos.
No. She said yeah. That'd be fun.
Cool. Well, at least
and I think it was. I hope it was.
Yeah, I hope it was. You might want to ask her today.
Yeah.
I remember when I first asked Brooke out on her first date, I was terrified, and she was getting her dance kids ready at the Christian school we were both teaching at. And I asked her out, and I said, "Do you want to go get some coffee this weekend?" And her first response was, "I think I'm going to be sick." I'm like, wow, just crash and burn.
Yeah,
That
right?
did not go too well. I was like, no, I think I'm coming down with strep throat. I'm like, okay, I've heard of I need to wash my hair.
Yeah.
I've not heard of I've got strep throat. That was a new one. Turns out she actually had strep throat. She actually did have strep throat, and we talked that weekend for like 3 hours on the phone. And that's how I knew I wanted to go on a first date with her for sure, because I talked with someone for 3 hours and I didn't get bored.
Yeah.
So that was
absolutely.
instant.
Like
Done.
that's how our date was. Like it
was
felt
easy.
like it was very easy. It felt like no time had passed, and it was amazing.
That's
And
cool.
So yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of amazing, we're going to close this out in prayer, and we're going to do a challenge. We're going to do a water bottle flip, and we're going to see who is going to earn the right to pray.
So now, how do we do this and it not take forever? Because
I don't know. Let's do it quick because we're about to lose our time on our video camera. That's going to melt down again.
all right.
You got a water bottle there,
water
Matt?
bottle. There you
Okay.
go.
I'm going to go first, and whoever completes this in the least amount of tries gets to pray.
Okay.
All right, here we go. That was an epic fail. For those who are listening, you can't see me just epically fail here. 2, 3.
Oh,
all right.
All right. I'm trying.
So I did 4 tries. Let's move
right.
this stuff out of the way here,
All
bud.
right.
All right, Matt, it is now your turn to do the water bottle challenge. Go
All
for it.
right.
I did it in 4, so we'll see
Okay.
how you do. That's sideways. 2, 3. You're hitting everything. Oh, off the table.
Well, that's all
We
right.
can let you keep going. You got to pray the last 2 times, so now it's my turn.
That's right. You get to do it.
All right, so I did it in 4, and Matt did it in infinity.
All right. Praise
All right,
out.
well, join us in prayer, and here we go. Heavenly Father, thank you so much that we can laugh about things that aren't serious and just have a good time, just being with friends and talking about good times as well. But Lord, we thank you for your word that gives us wisdom on how to navigate all aspects of life. God, you've given us so many truths about who you are, but also just very practical ways to navigate the stormy waters of everything that goes on in social media and real life as well. God, we continue to ask that you would give us this wisdom, and we would commit ourselves to reading your word as often as we can so that we know the right things to do, but also how to treat people rightly as well. God, be with us this week and our weekend as we try to live out our lives faithfully. We pray all this in your awesome and holy name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us for our podcast. We love getting to do this and love getting to share this. If you have the chance and you like our podcast, be sure to follow it. Be sure to share it on all your social media. Get the whole world knowing about Thursdays. True
And trivial.
talk. Hey, we're in sync. Look at that. Look at that.
Yes.
It's pretty good. All right. And of course, you can follow us on Spotify. Listen to us
James
on
Earl
Apple
Jones.
Podcasts and
Luke.
Stitcher now soon.
I am your father.
Google Podcasts. Thanks for that, Matt.
Yes.
And let's see where else we are. We're going to be on iHeartRadio here soon too. So
that I've heard of.
that's the one you actually use is iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
I have that one as well. And of course, you can actually. My daughter falls asleep to our podcast every night.
Oh.
I know that's how interesting it is. My daughter
Okay.
likes to hear our podcast. So you can ask Alexa to say, "Hey, listen to Thursday True and Trivia Talk on Spotify or Tune In Radio here soon," and it'll play it for you on your Echo Dot. for you.
Alexa, give me a snooze fest.
Give
Here
me
we
a
go.
snooze fest. No, this show's interesting. I know. I think it's just the calmness of her daddy's voice that helps her go to sleep. I think that's what I'm gonna claim right now.
Except when you go on a first world rant. And
Except when I go to first world rant.
Not so calm then.
Well, speaking of first world rants, we're going to land the plane on this. Again, follow us in all those different ways and share it. And of course, if you have questions for us, you can email Matt at,
Matt@fbcpville.org.
and you can email me, McGinty, at dmcginty@fbcpville.org. And of course, message us or Facebook questions and all that.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I am not your father. All right. Y'all have a good weekend.
Hey, see you later.